Hey y'all, it is Speaking Facts in 15, and I am your co-host, Charmaine Armstrong Kiswell now, and I'm here with my co-host, and I always say, AKA my dad. Let me hand it off to you.
Hey, this is J.R. Stewart, a co-host of Speaking Facts in 15-ish, although we'll probably get it in under 15 today.
That's right.
My daughter's got a call, but we're gonna talk about family loving family, because it's
That's right. It was so important.
So important. And Charlie, why don't you go ahead and kick it off there a little bit?
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, you guys, the reason why me and Dad do this is because we want to show that family does love family, and through our love, we're able to flourish and protect our family and continue to grow our family. And difficulties do arise in family, and we've talked about the past couple of weeks, right, Dad? Things happen.
That's right.
Through those there's no way to get around it. But how do you think about those difficulties that happen in your family? Do you speak positively on them or badly on them? Because time definitely does heal. We know that. So with that being said, we want to talk about the things that family does mean, and the things that, through respecting and understanding the meaning of family, how you can be a stronger unit. And through that, it shouldn't be broken, because difficulties do happen. But if you're a strong unit and you understand that, then you fare out better, right?
That's right. And we were discussing earlier, just if family loving family, I guess we need to kick in there real quick. What love really is. The Bible in 1 Corinthians 13, it kind of says, what love is.
Right.
It says love is patient, it's kind. And if we're just patient with each other and kind to each other, those two things right there will take care of a multitude of sins.
That's right.
If we're just patient with each other and kind to each other, but then it goes on to say that love doesn't brag, it doesn't boast, it's not proud. So that's another thing, is that especially, in the family unit, we need to be humble enough with each other, to stand up for what is right, but to admit when we have erred, so that those younger people in the family watch us being humble and watch us communicating and loving and forgiving and being patient and being kind. We want the young people to watch us older people expressing those values of love, and that's what they are. They're values of love. It says love doesn't dishonor others. Which means you're not going to be, and it already said it doesn't envy. But if it doesn't dishonor, you're going to be not going to be backbiting or talking about family members. Maybe because you've gotten envious, because of some kind of status that they have achieved. And it's we've talked about not judging in our previous shows, but if we are slow, if we don't cast judgment, then it's a lot easier not to become envious. A lot of us will say, well, that person has this or that person did this or that, or they don't deserve that. How they do that? How come I can't do that? See, that's right. That's the enemy getting inside our head, messing with us.
Right.
It says love is. Oh, go ahead, baby.
Go ahead, Dad.
I was just saying, love is not self-seeking. So you're not going to love because you want to love yourself. You're going to love because you want to express love to those in your family. It says love is not easily angered.
That's right.
And that's another thing. If someone makes a mistake, or even if it's a mistake that they have made, I remember in a couple of podcasts ago when we had Wilbur on, he brought up the scripture about them asking Jesus, how many times should I forgive someone? There's a whole lot, at least 77. So that's a whole lot, Right. So, but no matter what someone does, no one makes us angry. Anger is a reaction that we decide to have to something that goes on. No one makes you angry or makes you anything else. Everything in life is a choice. And when we accept that we have the power of choice and accept the responsibility for those choices, then again, it's easier not to become angry at someone else because we accept the power that God has given us.
That's
I
right.
made a choice. And if you make
Exactly.
that choice in peace, even if you have to choose to defend yourself or defend your home or whatever, if you make that choice in peace, then there's no anger involved. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. It's a choice. It's a choice to
Yeah.
be happy. It's a choice to respect one another. And in all honesty, I know this is going to sound crazy because we say, that nobody's perfect, but I feel like perfection happens when we admit that flaw. When we admit that mistake, that's perfection.
All
Acknowledging
right.
that we are not perfect, but throughout our imperfections, then we are showing that we are human, and that through this we can become stronger, we can be forgiving, we can love one another, we can move on from it. That person who sits there and is like, oh, I don't make mistakes, I'm perfect. That's the person who's imperfect. You know what I mean? That's the epitome of not being perfect, of not having that perfection.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
and then what about, and this is something that's important as far as the hierarchy of family. Who is that person in the family that you're gonna go to, when you have conflict or when you have difficulties? Would it be an elder in the family? I think that kind of has gotten taken out of families, where it used to be that an elder in the family could resolve conflict because they've been through enough and they've seen enough to be able to say, hey, this is how this should be handled, or you guys are wrong, you're right, or this is what needs to happen, and we're going to move on from it. And I think that is definitely missing from a lot of families, that hierarchy, and there's not that person who is strong enough to say, okay, guys, time out. And let's talk about all the things in Corinthians that, because that at the end of the day, if we live by the Bible, then, God is not the author of confusion. We are. And so if
Exactly.
we're actually living by what the word is and how we're supposed to love and treat one another, then that's going to create that not there will not be that confusion.
Exactly. There will not be confusion, and another thing that 1 Corinthians 13:4, it goes on to say that love always protects, it always trusts, it does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. And verse 8 starts off saying that love never fails. And if we're talking about the family, and as you said, having that elders to go to, a family is really the first everything, and we've discussed that in previous podcasts. It's the family is the first town, it's the first community, it's the first government, it's the original government, it's all those things. But the family is also the first team. Now, your son
Anthony said, hey, so just saying hey to him, thank you for tuning in.
And mom number 2, Laurinette, is going to get us, because I told her I would call her and tell her that we were going on the air, but we just kind of rushed into it. So we'll have to apologize to her later. But a family is also the first team, as it's a team. Now, in a team, there's as you said, there's a manager or a coach that is guiding and directing that team. And that team is on a team, everybody is striving towards the same goal.
That's right.
So looking at a family as a team, that family should be striving towards the same goal. So if we're a family, what ultimate goal are we striving towards? And who is that guiding light? Who is that figure? Who is the coach? Who is the manager? You know what I'm saying? So it is usually in the traditional family structure, it's usually the father, because the Bible says that the woman is in subjection to man as man is in subjection to God. So man is supposed to guide and direct. And again, that's not to be a boss. It's not to be an overseer, but he is supposed to guide and direct. A lot of families today don't have a man in the house. So I don't want to exclude anyone where there is not a man in the home, but there should be someone that is in the position of coach, in the position of
and in the Bible, it says that if there was not a man in the home, that if it is that family unit where that woman is leading that family, that she would go to the priest and seek, counsel for whatever the issue is, for understanding, or whatever there is an issue. So we've definitely, and again, anybody, we're not trying to say that our faith is better than your faith, or we're not here to, like Dad has said on previous shows, we have too much in common to debate about
Right.
religion. We're not doing that. You know,
Right.
whatever you believe in is what you believe in. But what we're trying to share with you guys is that we definitely begin the day with love. We end the day with love, and everything in between is supposed to be guided and is easier and is at peace because of that. So when we're talking about religion, again, we're not trying to cancel anybody out, but knowing that again where that hierarchy is, and if you have questions about how to solve conflict, that you would be able to go to someone to that can provide that to you.
Right. And if you made a good point, if that coach, that manager for your family unit happens to be outside of the home, that's okay. If it happens to be an auntie, an uncle, like you said, a priest, a counselor, someone, a teacher, someone outside the home that is acting in that role, that's okay. But but you know, like you know, your son, my grandson's playing on a baseball team. Well, you know, their objective is to win the games that they play. But that team has a character that the coach is not just instilling X's and O's. He's instilling character in that team. This is how we go about playing. This is how we go about doing it so that we can win. Well, in the family structure, our goal should be to be the best that we can be, so that we can bring the children up under us to be the best that they can be. You know, and there should be some guiding principles. You know, there should be some guiding values, some guiding moral values that family, that if someone is looking at your family and says, oh, well, that family, I know that family, they live by this, or they go by this. You know what I'm saying? You know, there should be our walk as members of a family, and as you know, as followers of Christ, or whatever you believe. But our family units, people should be able to see us and almost see us like we have on a uniform. You know, like we're wearing a, you know, like we're wearing a uniform.
I'm not a uniform today, by the way. I'm missing my Speaking Facts in 15 shirt.
That's okay. You're radiating it, so I got you covered. I got you covered. You know, but yeah, I mean, it really, you know, and the Bible speaks of that. Our walk, you know, our people should see us and know that we have a walk, and be able to see us and be comfortable enough when seeing us to share a moment of their lives with us.
That's right.
You know, and a lot of and there are a lot of people who don't take responsibility for the impression that they leave with others. You know, they don't care. They don't care about the impression that they leave with others. But if you are walking in love, then love is, you know, it's kind, it's gracious, you know, it's humble. You know, these things should be, if you're walking in love, then these are things that people will see in us.
That's right. And they will pay that forward to the next, but they're going to keep carrying that forward. You know, and as we've said before, you know, we never know what someone's going through. But if we go ahead and show our kids and our family how it is that we treat one another in our homes, so therefore when we go out into the world, we can do those same things and show our kids what conflict resolution looks like. Because again, we're not saying that families don't have difficulties, and we're not even saying that we haven't had difficulties in our family. But the biggest thing that carried us through it all is, one, forgiveness, and two, love. And through that, we knew that we would be okay. And we continue to believe that.
Exactly. Through understanding that, because if something's going on with me, I have a part in it. You know, now, you know, saying it's quote unquote my fault. Well, that's a, you know, that's a word of perspective. You know, I might have a different perspective on whether it's my fault or not than you do. But but I have a part in it. If something's going on in my life, I have a part in it, and I need to look and see what my part is, so that I can be responsible for that.
And people are quick to anger for lack of understanding. So if we take time to understand one another and understand what it is that we're going through, then we're not going to be so quick to anger, so quick to judge. And then look, I hate to say this is our 15, but we are really keeping it to 15. There's no ish today.
Like, there's no ish today.
And this conversation is definitely one that we could not even have in 15, right, Dad? I mean,
Right. So we'll definitely come back to this one. But parents, respect your children
Amen.
and teach them, and in doing so, it will teach them to respect you and respect the family unit. You
That's
know,
right.
maybe we'll get back into this again next week. But yeah, we got to keep to the 15. Y'all, it is, as always, it is a pleasure. This is brought to you by Kids Wealth Now. Really quick, we have a Patreon. If you want to get in touch with us, how do they do that, Charlie?
Yes, you can do that on our Patreon, and I'm going to put it in the comments. And it's just there for you to, if you want to have one-on-one conversations with us, we would love to have that with you. And just, we love bringing y'all into our family, and we hope you enjoy that time. And we want to see y'all every week on Wednesday.
If you would like to be a guest with us, let us know. If you got something you want to talk about, let us know.
That's right. All right. Well, with that being said, I don't have music today because my next appointment is here, but y'all be blessed. And we look forward to talking to y'all next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Okay.